Hello, my name is Mark Gavin. I live in Autumn Lakes on Autumn Trace Drive. I am the proprietor of Autumn Lakes Uncensored Facebook group that many of you are members of. I'm a former board member and Autumn Lakes whistleblower. You hear about me every day. If you're on Autumn Lakes Uncensored, you know more than anyone what the true situation is here in Autumn Lakes. The board, the HOA board, they will tell you what they want you to hear. It's often censored. It's wrong in many cases. I don't believe anything that I hear from the board. You're going to hear more truth and what's truly happening in Autumn Lakes from Autumn Lakes Uncensored, as you know, because I am out in Autumn Lakes every day that I'm in town, walking miles with my dog and checking out whatever needs to be checked. I was a board of director trustee for only 2 months before I resigned, and I can go into that at a later date. But since then, I would consider myself to be an Autumn Lakes whistleblower. I've seen things, I've heard things, I've experienced things. I know things that are going on. I know things that are planned to go on here in Autumn Lakes, and it's disgusting. So this particular video is the first potentially of a series. We'll see how it goes. I do not consider myself to be a good public speaker. I cannot stand my voice when I hear it myself, but I'm putting myself through this torture because this is important for you to hear. I know many people don't like to read long articles or texts in forums, on your device. I'm going to read the email that I posted, or the email that I sent, and the content that I posted this afternoon. And for those of you that don't want to read it, you can listen to it. And this is my dog Crash. So this is reading from that post from this afternoon on Autumn Lakes Uncensored. There is HOA board discrimination taking place that will impact all of you as an Autumn Lakes homeowner for the rest of your life while living in Autumn Lakes. We must force a halt to it immediately, or you will be forced to accept it, likely forever. There's a secret committee of board members and appointed homeowners that have assembled to review and propose modifications to our Autumn Lakes indentures, our HOA laws, that have been filed at the courthouse. This secret committee will propose changes that provides the HOA board even more power and making it more difficult to remove them and future board members from the board into eternity. They're looking to gain additional flexibility to spend our HOA dues, our monthly dues, however they deem best. They're likely looking at removing from the indentures some homeowner rights and making additional homeowner rules restricting and controlling our freedom as homeowners. If you do not understand what this means, think of a couple examples. The board took away your rights to grill on your decks. They took away your wood-burning fireplaces in your homes. Board members can display signs on their vehicles or their yards or have a flagpole out at the street, but homeowners cannot. This is inequity. This is bias. This is discrimination. Discrimination is illegal. Do you want the board to change these rules, the indentures, enabling them to take away anything additional to achieve their own, often personal agendas as board members? Do you want them to enact new rules granting them more rights than homeowners have? Do you want them enacting rules that they can potentially get paid for doing their elected HOA responsibilities while being on the board? These things could all happen. They can take away any rights that we as homeowners have. They can take the rights away and they can give them to themselves so that they can make decisions on our behalf. In my opinion, this is unacceptable. This is not a communist society. This is a democracy, or it needs to be. We need to vote on anything important. Our existing HOA indentures were written into law in 1980. That's like 43 years ago, right? And this board chooses right now to make these changes while our property is deteriorating and our reserves are depleted. While several of the board members are being legally and ethically investigated in several different venues and with their backs against the HOA wall in fear of being ousted from the board, and with two of them not getting re-elected, potentially up for re-election in May, likely not going to be re-elected if I have anything to say about it, they choose now to change our laws. Why now? Be skeptical. Ask them why now. With our special assessment very likely to occur early next year, there will be a sudden inflow of lots of new money from us homeowners. Are they changing our indentures so that they can spend our money on certain other things that currently they're not allowed to spend our money on? Are they looking to compensate themselves? We know that they're looking to make themselves more powerful, because why would they choose to make themselves less powerful, right? They're looking to make themselves more powerful. For what though? And why now? To make a change to our indentures costs us as an HOA about $10,000. You don't make $10,000 just to make a simple rule change. A simple rule change, they will just vote for the rule and there it is. But they want to change our indentures that have been filed at the courthouse for 43 years. This board that has driven this place into the ground have depleted our reserves, and they want to have more power. They're going to be getting more money through the special assessment, and they want to have these indentures, the rules, our laws, changed. Now, after 43 years, why? I ask, why now? Two individuals within our neighborhood that you probably are aware of, Jairus Ruth and Laura Fisher, have both requested of the board to be added to this indentures committee. There is a committee already formed. As of current, it's a secret committee. The board themselves are likely on this committee, at least one or two board members, and whomever additional that they have appointed to be on this committee. It's not accepting volunteers to the committee. It's not soliciting any volunteers to be on the committee. It's the board and the appointees that they have selected to be on this secret indentures committee. Well, other homeowners have contacted the board requesting that Jairus Ruth and Laura Fisher be added to this secret indentures committee. All of the requests of the board are no longer being ignored by the board. People were they were just waiting. They would not get a response. You know, they requested that Jairus and Laura be added to the secret committee, no response. Well, now they're receiving responses, which is good. These requests are now being responded to. The board is responding to all of these requests in the same way. And the email consists of this: no. That's it. Everybody requesting that Jairus and or Laura be added to this secret committee, the response that they're getting is no. N-O. That's it. This is the one-word response to all requests that Jairus and Laura be included on the secret indentures committee. To whomever requested they get included. This is extremely disrespectful to the owners and certainly discrimination by the board. Keep in mind, bias, treating one person different from the rest, excluding people from something, canceling someone from a meeting, banning them from a Zoom call, treating a homeowner differently than another homeowner, applying the rules in different ways based upon who you are, whether they like you. This bias is discrimination. Discrimination is illegal. Not only is it distasteful, it's against the law. So why are Jairus and Laura being told no, that they cannot join this secret indentures committee? Well, no response is being provided, just the one word no. These two individuals have numerous years of business experience. Jairus has run over 30 businesses, including HOAs and nonprofit organizations. She's the most experienced person in this area that I have ever met. You probably have watched Jairus's YouTube video explaining the dire conditions that we are here in Autumn Lakes. If you haven't seen that on YouTube, you need to. You must, as a homeowner, see this. Contact me if you haven't, and I'll send you the link. Laura is a retired executive from a large telecom company. Laura has a lot of experience. She's a great person to work with. She's collaborative. She's an extremely experienced, business-savvy person. We definitely need the two of them. So these individuals, they know how the board has has brought Autumn Lakes to its knees, and they know what is necessary to resurrect Autumn Lakes from its depth of hell. I implore you, please email this board and demand that Jairus and Laura be included on the Indentures Committee. I trust my life with these two ladies, and I certainly trust my home and our Autumn Lakes community and you as my neighbors and homeowners with these two ladies. I don't trust our board to get anything right based on their history of poor decision making, no prioritization skills, squandering of our HOA funds, no planning before executing anything, and failing the execution of everything. They haven't done anything right. So I ask you, I implore of you, please email the board today demanding that Jairus Ruth and Laura Fisher be added to this secret indentures committee. All board members can be reached at autumnlakesboard@gmail.com. You send it to that email address, they all receive it. It's autumnlakesboard@gmail.com. In the email, I also included a link to our existing indentures from 1980 that are filed at the courthouse. Our indentures are also included in a document on our Autumn Lakes website. If you can't find it, if you want it, it's a bunch of legal speak. If you aren't an attorney, it's difficult to understand the intent. But I'm an accountant by education, so I understand it. I know what's in it, and I know some of the things they're wanting to change. So if you want to get your hands on this document, let me know. So in closing, our board often disregards our HOA indentures and bylaws when those documents don't meet their needs. If the rules don't apply, they'll change the rules, or they'll totally disregard the rules. They're like that. It's abhorrent. Our indentures do require a homeowner vote to approve any indenture changes before those indentures get filed at the courthouse. This is not to say that the board won't file the new indentures without a vote, a homeowner vote. And the board may choose to hold a vote without allowing we homeowners an opportunity to even review the proposed changes. And they may not even tell us what the changes are. They may just stuff the document down our throats the night of the vote and say either vote for or against it. There is a precedent to the board pulling similar stunts where they attempt to get a rule passed, a law enacted, a decision made with only providing their slant as to what the true agenda is, right? They're saying they're making changes to better our community. Well, they better damn well tell us what those changes are, explain what the changes were, what they are now, and why the change was made. I don't want to see one document where they just say, here, vote on this. I want a full explanation of each and every change to that indenture document prior to the vote in a town hall before the vote. I want us to get together, review this, have an opportunity to discuss, review each and every one of those indenture items that is being proposed as being changed, and have an opportunity to discuss that amongst ourselves, walk away from the meeting, discuss it offline, review it offline, and then return for a vote at some future date. They're not going to take a document, jam it down our throat, and tell us to vote for it. Not going to happen. We do have a picketing committee. Our picketing committee is on standby as we approach the indentures vote, expected to occur in early 2024. Furthermore, we do know that we have an upcoming special assessment in early 2024. As soon as the reserves study has been completed, the reserve study will say we need this astronomical amount of money to fix what needs to be fixed, and the board's going to say, well, that's too high, we're not going to ask our owners to pay that much, but they are going to ask us owners to pay something less, and that less amount is going to be a big check that we're going to have to write. That big check, they may say, write it now. That big check, they may say, well, let's divide it by 12, and over the next year, you pay 1/12 of it. They may even assess interest, who knows? But they are going to be asking us for a special assessment. They're going to ask us for more money. they're going to ask us to replenish our reserves with more money, because they've already said what our existing reserves that we have today, they're budgeting those for specific projects for next year, which means if it's budgeted money and it's part of our operating budget, then the money's coming out of our reserves, and therefore we won't have reserves, or our reserves will be significantly depleted. How do we get more money into our reserves? By a special assessment, where they ask us to write a check or a large amount, or divide by 12 and spread it out over a year, or divide by 24 and spread it out over 2 years. But they're going to ask us for a big amount of money, and we're going to have to pay it. And we can't say no, because then they file a lien on our property. Additionally, there is an upcoming May HOA election, a board member election, where our president and our vice president, treasurer, are up for re-election. All three of these things, we're going to pick it as we approach that point in time. If we are not presented with what we believe to be fair indentures, or we're not accepting the indentures modification process, we will picket it. We will have our signs at the front entrance, and everyone passing on McKelvey or entering into or exiting from our subdivision, they're going to understand something's up, and hopefully they're going to ask us what's up. And that's going to end up ultimately with the media knocking on our board members' doors, or knocking on my door for a full interview of what's going on in this hellhole. We will be picketing the special assessment if we're not happy with that process, if we don't agree with the amount. We will also be picketing the HOA board elections as we approach May. By the end of March, our president and our vice president treasurer must declare whether they are going to run for re-election. If they are planning to run for re-election, you can bet your ass the picketing committee is going to be there picketing them on a nightly basis during rush hour mornings. We're going to be picketing the hell out of this place. I think that pretty much sums up my position on this indentures topic. I'll close with just a simple statement that liberty and justice will prevail for we homeowners here in Autumn Lakes. Just continue to vote no. Vote no. Just like the responses we get to Jairus and Laura being added to the Indentures Committee. No. Well, for everything upcoming, these important topics coming up, as long as this board is in power, we're just going to continue to vote no on everything that crosses our desks. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your time. I'm going to post this on Autumn Lakes Uncensored in the next few minutes, also on Nextdoor app. And if you have any feedback for me, you can post that in the comments on Autumn Lakes Uncensored. There won't be a capability to respond on Nextdoor app, because I closed that discussion, because I'm not going to moderate discussions on two apps. I only moderate discussions and participate in discussions here in Autumn Lakes Uncensored. So any feedback, please do that here on the Autumn Lakes post, or create your own post in the Autumn Lakes Uncensored Facebook group. And please ask your neighbors to join us here on Autumn Lakes Uncensored. It's very important that we get as many people up to speed with what's going on in our community before it comes time to vote on the changes to the indentures, the changes to or the assessment of our special assessment, and the board member vote. We must get rid of our current president and treasurer, vice president. We can't allow them to further drive this place into the ground. So that's all I got for you today. Thank you for your time. Spread the word.